Hi friends. Okay, so today on today's Screencastify, I'm going to show you guys how to do some hearts. Yeah, so you guys know how there's kind of a movement throughout the United States where people hang hearts in their window, like as like a sign of solidarity. Just kind of showing, because a lot of people are just kind of stuck in their houses a lot, right? You go out and then you come home and you go out and come home. Well, here is just like a little project where I'm going to have you guys be working on hearts. So they're called happy hearts, okay? So let's see. I'll go in order. 6th grade is making like overlapping hearts using colored pencils. 7th grade is making like an op art heart, okay? And then 8th grade is making like a flying heart, okay? And I will have all these videos on my YouTube channel, so if you want to try all 3 of them, you may. Just go to my YouTube channel, okay? Okay. So what you guys are going to need for this project is a piece of paper, right? A pencil. Sharpie is optional, okay? I might draw in Sharpie so you can see better. I'm not sure. I might, okay. And then colored pencils, just an array of colored pencils, or you know what also works is a crayon set. So most everybody has crayons at home, right? Because you can change the pressure. So you can't really, change the pressure of a Sharpie, but you can change the pressure of a marker and a colored pencil to get what we call a hue intensity scale. Okay? Okay, oh, here's our words, artsy words. Jim Dine, he's a pop artist. He's the artist that we're looking at. We're talking about overlapping. We're talking about hue intensity scale and opaque to transparent. Remember how we talked about opaque and transparent? Opaque is very saturated color, and it's not transparent, translucent. Translucent means there's a little bit of color. Transparent means it's like glass, like it's see-through, right? Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm gonna tilt the camera down and show you how to do this project, okay? I might even like show you guys how to do just like a little extra credit thing, or just to play around with it. You guys have probably seen this before, right? Where you just take your hand and you do the same thing. It's really kind of the same idea as this project. These 2 projects are pretty much the same thing. They are just different objects, okay? And so, one more art word for the day is called implied line. I-M-P-L-I-E-D, implied, okay? That's where you indicate a line with shadow instead of an actual line. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? All right, so let's get ourselves situated and let's get started. Okay, so, whoa, where am I at here? So let's see, the best way to do this is like this, I think, yes. So you could have as many or as few colors as you want for this project. This one is outlined in Sharpie. This one is not, okay? The only thing is you don't want to outline the outside of the heart in Sharpie because that would totally kind of mess up the image, okay? I feel like I need to move this a little bit. Okay, maybe a little better. Okay, so let me scooch this stuff to the side. All right, so step 1, you're going to need a pencil, just a regular old drawing pencil, and I have one right here, and a sheet of paper, okay? I think you can format your paper any way you would like, but I usually format my paper like a pillow, a little bit, like this, okay? I'm still trying to figure out how to get this. Oh, gee. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so you're going to want to draw a pretty big heart. So probably a heart about as big as your hand. All right. So I'm just going to draw a curve like that. And then I'm going to draw another curve like that. And I'm going to connect them. No big deal, right? No big one. Okay. Next, you're going to want to stripe your paper. You can do it with thick stripes or thin stripes, just depending on kind of the effect you want. I think I'm going to go for just a little bit thinner stripe on this one. Just because I think that it gets the contours better, okay? So contours are the line in a drawing. Contour lines are any line that's in a drawing. So what you do is you start to stripe your paper with your contour line like this. And I'm not measuring it, I'm just kind of winging it. But I'm gonna make mine about a finger width apart, okay? So even if you wanna like go like this, that might help you. I'm pretty good at eyeballing stuff now, so I don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can. So you hop over top of the heart until you get to the other side, like that. Pull your line, hop over top, and then come back over here, okay? So we did this in class today, but if you feel like you need a little bit of help with this, or you got a little confused about it, I'm just gonna make this short little video so you guys can kind of redraw it if you need to, so that you're happy with your heart. You're happy with your heart? You gotta be happy with your heart, right? Okay, it's getting a little wonky, so I'm gonna give myself some more guidelines, like this, good. And then I'm gonna pull my line, and then hop over top. That's an overlap, right? Pull my line, hop over top, pull my line, hop over top. And I'm kind of hoping that you draw your heart a little bit lighter than this, because you're going to need an eraser because of that implied line. We don't want the heart to be outlined, okay? Because we're going to show the heart by using shadow and by using hue intensity. Dark intense colors push back, light colors pull forward, okay? Okay. Then I'm just going to almost be done. Just like that, okay? All right, so this part I'm going to start doing in Sharpie, so I think that it shows up a little bit better, but you can just keep yours in pencil if you want, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, like where this line meets, I'm going to curve it until it meets the line on the opposite side. I'll show you again. I'm going to curve it up until it meets that line, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing for here. So I'm going to curve it, and then maybe I'll start over here and curve it. And then I'm just going to connect it with a gentle curve. Don't go too deep like that, because that's not going to look right, okay? So I'll just do the rest just like this. I'll curve it, and then I'm going to meet it with a gentle, slow curve. Okay, so you just keep putting these contour lines in. These lines are indicating that the heart is round or has depth. Okay, it's kind of like if you put like a striped tablecloth over top of like a heart-shaped candy or something, it would have the same kind of effect. You would feel, you know, the shape of the heart through the contour lines, but these lines are implied. They're not there anymore. Does that make sense? Okay. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Sorry. Camera work. Curve it, and then connect with a gentle curve like that. I'll do it again. Curve it. Okay, now it's changing a little bit, because at the base of the heart, I want it to feel, you know, more round. Right here in the middle of the heart, there would be like this edge that's kind of, you know, like when you draw a heart, sometimes you draw a little line that comes over, because there's like an edge right here. But now that we're getting toward the point of the heart, I'm going to keep it more simple, like that. And then what you can do is you can, if you're working in Sharpie, you can just Sharpie these lines if you want to. Otherwise, you know, you can do it without Sharpieing. It looks just as good. But don't outline this part of the heart, because that's going to be the implied line that we're going to erase away. And implied line is a line that is shown not through a line, but through shading. Okay? So with shadow, we're going to show that a line is supposed to be there, even though it's not. Okay, so I might be going a little fast. I gotta slow down a little bit. There we go. So the artist that we're looking at, I don't know if I said this or not, is Jim Dine, and he did a series of art hearts. Really cool. I think he's got a couple sculptures in Chicago, and his paintings of hearts were super pretty. I liked them a lot. They were very textural. They were visually textural, because the way he would paint them was with a lot of different layers of paint, and they looked kind of like frosting, but they were super pretty. I don't know, there was something really cool about his art hearts. I like him a lot. And we will be looking at a video of him later on in the week. Okay, so now what you do is you take your eraser and you erase away the actual heart. You don't want it to show. You want a little ghost image of the heart to show, like, so you can see it, but you don't want it to be super visible. All right, So erase it away so you can see like the ghost image of the heart. You know what I mean? So it's an implied line, right? Okay, kind of like that. Okay, good. So now I'm going to choose a color, and I'm going to choose a color that I think will stand out pretty good. This color blue is nice and it's sharp. Okay, so what you do is, this is your contour edge that you follow for the shading. Contour lines are very important because they show you the direction that you're supposed to shade in. Like, I wouldn't shade it up and down. It doesn't make any sense. I follow the shading of the contour line. And you guys are going to get so sick of me saying that. I say it all the time, right? I know. But it's a really kind of a big deal when you're learning how to like shadow things and make them look realistic. You follow the contour line in the right direction. In the direction something grows or flows, I always say. Because when you shade it in the direction something grows or flows, it just makes more sense, right? Okay, so what you do is, you're doing your hue intensity scale. So dark values push back like this. And then, so this is our number 10. And that's very intense color. That's saturated, right? And it's opaque. The number 10, when you're doing colored pencil, is opaque. Ding, 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 like that. Okay. Then, since the heart goes up and dips down, and then goes up and dips down, so we're going to do the same thing on this piece of the heart where it dips in. You're going to use this edge as your indicator, right? So it gives it push and pull, because, you know, dark, intense color pushes back, and light, translucent color pulls forward, right? All right, so now we're getting toward the center, and you want that really easy, smooth edge, right? And this is how you're going to make it look kind of three-dimensional. No big deal. Like that, okay? And then I do the same thing over here on this edge. I find the little edge that I erased, the little implied line, and I go super heavy, super dark, right? Just like that. And then gradually I go a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter, because lighter values come forward, darker values push back. And so then I'm gonna come up like this. And this was a little tricky because the edge of the heart was right here, but I decided I'll show you what I'm going to do. I make mistakes all the time when I draw, but I've learned that I can fix them. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing, is like you're thinking on your feet. You're like, what am I going to do to fix this? It's not right. But there's always, you know, ways to fix a drawing. It's just a matter of figuring it out, right? Okay, so like what I was talking about is like this little edge right here. There's like a little V that comes in. I'm going to make that V like really apparent by pressing really hard on it right there so it shows up. See what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay. Just like that. And you can choose whatever colors you like. You could make a flag. You know, you could make, I don't know, an Italian flag, an Irish flag. You can make whatever colors like are important to you. Okay? All right, so now we have this nice little, it's like an undulation. It goes down and up and down and up and down, right? Okay, so here's kind of the trick. You want, it's like a ribbon kind of, right? You want the ribbon to feel like it's like flat on the table. So what you do is you want a light contrast when it goes flat so that this bump shows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very translucent line, shade right here, just like that. And then I think what I'm going to do is have it get a little darker on the edge so that it's got movement to it. So watch. I push dark here, medium here, like this. You know, voila. As long as there's like a real big, strong contrast between the heart and the table, it's going to show up. I'll do the same thing to the other side. So I take my color, sorry, and I make it very light contrast right from here to here. Actually, there's a strong contrast. I make a light intensity right here. translucent. And then when I get to the edge, I can do it darker, like this. So now you have like an implied line right here. It's not really a line, it's implied by shadow. Make sense? And it makes the heart feel like it's moving, okay? All right, I'm gonna choose another color and maybe I'll hop one down. Let's choose an orange. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go very dark, like right here. And I'm going to start with this line. I know I say shade in this direction, but it's slappy. It's really hard for me to get a clean line if I shade in this. So I start with a line like that, like a shade like that. And then I start to shade this way. Make sense? And I'm pressing like super hard. Make sure you have like a sharpener. You need a good sharpener. And with colored pencils, I found that hand sharpeners like work way better. Okay. And now I'm going to look for the dip, and the little dip is like right here. Don't go too deep, like too dipsy doodle on that one because it's not going to look right. Just a gentle curve. But I'm going to make it dark, just like that, and maybe I'll come over here and I'll do the same thing, and then I'll connect all of them. Maybe that's a good way to do it. I don't know. Everybody learns differently, but the cool thing about art is, you know, I probably don't even have to talk. I could just show you. Because, you know, I always learn by watching people, right? And that's the cool thing about the arts is you can just kind of watch somebody and figure it out. I think I talk too much. Blah, blah, right? Okay, so now I'm going to connect these two. Remember, dark values push back, intense color pushes back, and less intense color or translucent color pulls forward. And I'm going to connect these two like that. See it? I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And I don't think I'm going to do this whole thing. I think I might save it and make another video. Or maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. And then again, here and here, this is where the implied line happens, right here and here. You want this to be a super dark, intense color, right? And then you want a very translucent color next to it, so there's contrast. Contrast is when two things, like when you put them next to each other, you can see a difference, right? And if there's high contrast, you can see a big difference. If there's low contrast, you don't see much of a difference at all. Your eye has to stop and figure it out. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of do my hue intensity scale where it's dark on the edge like this. And then it gets kind of lighter, and I blend it in like that. See? No big whoop. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. A light, like a big difference between this edge and this edge. This is a dark edge. This is going to be a light edge. So there's contrast. And that's how you see the implied line. Make sense? And if you like this, you know, hang it in your window. I think it's kind of cool. I have one hanging in my window. My grandkids made one with me. It's pretty cool. Okay. All right, see how I did it? Ta-da! And by the time you get this done, you know, it's going to look like this. I think this is a pretty sweet little drawing. So maybe I'll just do one more just because I want to color with you guys. Let's see, I have a blue and I have an orange. Maybe I'll do like a green. I'll do this line in green so you can see how this really starts to take shape. Okay? So I'm going to take this edge and start coloring it in. Right? Oh, I think I am doing the flag of Ireland, actually. Aren't I? It's the flag. I know. Nope, it's orange. Flag of Ireland is orange and white and green. There's no blue. That's okay. There is today. So like I said, think of colors that are like important to you, right? I mean, pink could be for breast cancer. That would be a cool one. I think I can't think of any other colors that are like statement colors. All right, so I'm doing the same thing over here. Very hard on the edge, right? And then lighter to the center, like this. This is just like a fun drawing to do. I know I said you don't have to finish this in class, but if you want to make more than one, I'll show you how. Because they're cool. Okay, and again, when you come to this edge, you want a lot of contrast between here and here. Okay, so you start out with a very light hue for your hue intensity, not intense at all. It would be translucent, right? And then when you get to the edge, you can make it a little darker, like this. And then just kind of blend them together. I think you guys are going to get this. It's not a big deal, right? You do it the whole way down, right? I'll finish this side. So light, a big difference between this edge and this edge, so that that implied line shows up, right? I miss you guys. We're going to see each other super soon. I'm not even going to have you guys hand these in, I don't think, to like Screencastify or in Google Classroom yet, because I'll see you guys like in a week. It's no big deal. We'll be back soon. Okay? All right, so all you do is you stripe the whole way down, and before you know it, you have a pretty sweet drawing that looks like this, right? So I had that hand drawing. I don't know where I put it. Oh, here it is. So you can do the same thing like with a hand drawing. All you do is, you're going to have more steps, because when you outline the hand, you have to go a little slower. And like this part for this hand drawing is a little trickier, because you have to do a contour line for the knuckles. And that would be like a wave, right above the fingers. You want to do like a knuckle line like that, right? Okay. And also when you trace your hand, you want your thumb to be kind of like up. If you do your hand like that, the stripe is going to be weird. So tilt your hand so it's up, so you can come over the thumb like that, okay? But then basically, you do it just like the same way. You go hard on the edge, like that. Light to the center. And then there's not as much contrast right here. You want the contrast where it meets like the flat part to be low. You want low, so this is, actually to be high. So there's a lot of difference between this shade and this shade. You know what I mean? And then you can start making it darker as it goes out. All right? But you should try this with your hand. It's actually pretty cool. It's what I just did it like a second. I just traced my hand and then I drew these lines over top. Just draw the curve. Make sure they connect to that flat line. You know what I mean? Like that. And then you start your push and pull with your hue intensity scale. Remember, dark intense colors push back. Light colors come forward. And try your best to shade in the right direction. That's a little trickier on smaller spaces like this. Like it's harder to shade this way, but you can do it. Okay. This is just like a little extra if you're looking for something to do. I just thought maybe I would throw this in because it's actually cool. Maybe we'll do this as a project. I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I'll think about it. But anyway, that's how you do your Jim Dine heart. I might come on with another video and just show you how to take a normal pencil. You can do a little bit of extra shading on these. You can actually work with pencil over top of colored pencil, but you can't push hard. You got to use a super, super light pressure because you don't want to ruin the effect, right? Okay. All right, I'm going to tilt the camera up. This one's like very patriotic, right? This one is very colorful. This one is your hand. This one is almost the map of Ireland, but not quite. All right, so there we are. Okay, so that is your art for the week, and this is your heart for your window. I want you to try your best and have fun doing it. Otherwise, you know, what's the point? Have fun doing it. Don't rush yourself. Don't rush yourself. You know, we've got a lot on our plates with trying to figure this whole thing out. So the last thing I want is for you guys to get stressed out about doing artwork. Artwork is fun. I want you to have fun doing it, right? I have fun doing it, so I want you to have fun doing it too. All right? Okay. So when you come to class next week, we're going to work on this a little bit more, and I'll show you a few more tricks. Okay. You take good care, and I will see you super, super soon.